Kung Fu Panda 2 made a bold move of ending on a cliffhanger, revealing that Po's father is still alive. It was a thrilling moment, and also a terrifying one, as the sequel's initial box office returns endangered a third Kung Fu Panda. Despite hitting theaters almost exactly 3 years after the first breakout film, Kung Fu Panda 2 debuted with almost 10 million less. And when it reached the end of its run stateside, the sequel made 50 million less. But thankfully, once again, it was the foreign box office to the rescue, and Kung Fu Panda 2 actually ended up 30 million ahead of the original flick. So now, Kung Fu Panda 3 is set for 2015, but as a Christmas release. Its summer spot taken by a potential new franchise for Dreamworks Animation, BOO, Bureau of Otherworldly Operations. Yes, one of Dreamworks Animation's new strategies is to saturate the market with 3 releases a year. It's a strategy which isn't working out too well. But one of their other strategies is to create epic multi-movie storylines similar to the current trend in live-action movies. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is one of the most highly anticipated movies of the year, where Hiccup meets his long-lost mother. And Kung Fu Panda 3, where Po meets his long-lost father, is also highly anticipated. Both franchises tie heavily into genre storytelling, favored by the fanboy and fangirl demographic that controls internet discussion and therefore largely what films get a publicity boost from online media. Although nobody ships Po. Yet! But he might be getting a little romance in Kung Fu Panda 3 as Rebel Wilson joins the cast in an unspecified role. And hey, since Po's father lives in a secret village with all the surviving pandas, odds are pretty good there's a lady friend for Po. Po's father is rumored to be voiced by none other than Bryan Cranston, who will be in most of the film this time. And Mads Mikkelsen also joins the cast, presumably as our new villain, who executive producer Guillermo Del Toro says is Po's most formidable foe yet. Speaking of alliteration, the Furious 5 will return as well, as will director Jennifer Yuh. She was the head of story on the first Kung Fu Panda movie, and then with the sequel became the first woman to solely direct an animated feature, and helped pave the way for fellow female animation talent like Jennifer Lee, who Disney likewise elevated from story to co-directing with Frozen. Kung Fu Panda also illustrates Hollywood's growing partnership with China, literally, as 1/3 of the film will be animated in China at Oriental Dreamworks, a new production arm of the animation studio backed by Chinese companies. This makes Kung Fu Panda 3 the very first animated film to be co-produced with China, which will help significantly with securing a release date in the very restrictive country. Yes, as we've discussed several times now, China has become the second biggest box office in the world, with designs on becoming the biggest. In fact, way back in 2008, when the first Kung Fu Panda came out, China was upset that it was an American animation studio that had produced a film depicting martial arts and Chinese culture. It became a well-publicized example of how the country was missing out on lucrative opportunities when it comes to filmmaking. So shrewdly, instead of creating a competing franchise, you can see that China has simply made itself a part of this one, giving them an entry point into the animation genre and a personal interest in seeing the movie succeed not just in China, but the overall box office-rich Asia. Did you see how much money the region pumped into Frozen? And Kung Fu Panda 3 needs all the help it can get, as Dreamworks Animation not only needs more box office hits overall, but back in 2010, Dreamworks Animation CEO Jeffrey Katzenberg promised we'd get 6 Kung Fu Panda movies. That's something fans and China would also like to see, but will we be able to convince mainstream audiences as well? What do you think? Are you excited for Kung Fu Panda 3? Do you think the franchise can last through Kung Fu Panda 6? Is China a welcome part of Hollywood animation? And do you think epic multi-movie storytelling works in animation, or should it be left to live action? Write your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.